Eric Dickerson. Now, I'm not going to learn if my veterans can play, but I feel you can watch stuff, and sometimes, like last night I watched Baker, and I'm like, physically, he looks small. And now Carson Wentz, by the way, when Dak came out for the Cowboys, remember 2 years ago, you're like, boy, he looks like he fits in the room. He was big, he was strong, he was confident, and everybody can say preseason means nothing. You watched Dak come out with the Cowboys.
Man, I saw him, and
you came on this show.
I was like, who is this guy? I mean, I just noticed his accuracy. I'm like, man, he can throw the football. I said, who is he? He says Dak Prescott. I said, where'd he come from? I think Mississippi. I'm like, I said, man, he can throw the football. So I was very impressed. So preseason can tell you something.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Some guys look overwhelmed,
yep.
And some guys look like it's one of these things where body anxiety. Lamar Jackson first week looked a little nervous, and Dak Prescott first start looked like he'd been a 9-year veteran in the NFL. So you can learn stuff. Let me talk about a non-football thing here. Cam Newton before the game. This had a high school cafeteria confrontation written all over it. I don't want my star quarterback anywhere near crap like this. What did you make of him confronting Kelvin Benjamin before the game? Kelvin had come out, kind of criticized him, taken a shot at him, and then Cam Newton comes out. What did you make of this?
I think that's what you do as a man. You walk over to him. Yes, most definitely. You got to fight about it, because sooner or later, Colin, they're going to run to each other somewhere. Restaurant, grocery store, party, NFL event. And you don't want a heated argument, because, first of all, these are two football players that have a lot of testosterone. So most definitely, you go up to, hey, man, what's up? You could tell him, what's up, Doc? Oh, hey, and the other, he wasn't having. He was like, hey, look, almost like I said what I said, and it is what it is.
But that to me felt like a high school cafeteria confrontation.
No, a high school fight in the cafeteria would be like throwing stuff and acting like a child. They were just walking and talking. I mean, you could tell Kelvin Benjamin was like, hey, man, look, it is what it is. And Cam was like, hey, talk to me. Talk to me about it. Because, like I said, they're going to run into each other once again.
By the way, would Russell Wilson do that? Would Andrew Luck do that?
Hey, probably not, but that's Cam Newton.
And that's why
that's Cam Newton.
But isn't that why a lot of us go, dude?
But no, you can't compare apples and oranges. There are two different guys, two different personalities. I mean, as a young black quarterback, you already, have kind of a chip on your shoulder, like, hey, I want to, let's talk about this. And we don't know what the conversation was. I mean, you don't know what he was saying. It could have been like funny or serious, but it was.
Well, at the end, it looks like at the end right there, what Cam's saying at the end is, I tried to be above you and you ain't going to listen, I'm out.
But you don't know if he said that now. He could have said, all right, dog, I'll holler at you later. So you don't know what he said. you speculate.
Cam looked very frustrated. If you watch this video right here,
there he looks frustrated.
No, Cam's got his ham out.
You're like, what? Like, come on. And then he says, hey, step back, Doc.
Thomas, step back.
Yeah, let me talk to you.
Now there's where he's trying to act tough.
And Benjamin's like, hey, what's up? You see down like, hey, I said what I said, and it is what it is, and I'm through with it. And he's like, man, well, talk to me. Just talk to me. And that's how Cam's walking behind.
Now watch Cam right here. Cam looks like he's trying to say, and you can tell Kelvin say, I said what I said. Now Cam here's upset. He's like, look, man, I tried to be cool with you. Forget you. I'm done with you.
He said, he's all right, man. Forget it. All right, dog, I'm out. But
I would rather have my franchise quarterback worry about football stuff than that.
It's preseason, so you said preseason don't count, so it's preseason.
I believe preseason means stuff. When you watch Dak Prescott, everybody said, oh, he fits. When you watch Lamar last week, you're like, he's a little nervous.
Well, yeah.
He looks a little overwhelmed by the passing game. He can wiggle a little bit, but I do think, let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he was 7 for 18. Flacco had one drive, looked great, had a great camp. Nobody cares. I've been saying this about Lamar Jackson, is that it's a proud franchise in Baltimore. The rival Steelers are pulling away from them. This is a franchise in a city that loves the NFL. They appreciate what Flacco did, but they feel like they're done with Flacco. I feel like it's going to be Tebow, that he's not ready. He was a little overdrafted. He's 7 for 18. He got saved on a jump ball by a wide receiver, but I think he's going to play.
I think he's going to play because of one reason is the general manager believes in him. I talked to Ozzie Newsome about it. I walked up to him. I was talking to Ozzie at the Hall of Fame. I said, Ozzie, tell me about Lamar Jackson. And he said, Eric, we love him. He said, I'm telling you, he's a player. He's a football player. He said, I know he's a little bit raw right now, but he said he's a football player. And if the general manager believes that, and a guy who played football in the Hall of Fame, Ozzie Newsome, is something there. See, we as spectators were you as a spectator, and so I'm a spectator now, we don't know the ins and outs, what goes on in the locker room, how he goes through his drills. He's young. I mean, he's a young quarterback, and I'm sure this is overwhelming for him. Everything happens at a different speed in the NFL.
Yeah, I think you have to be fair with Lamar. It's something a general manager in the NFL told me something years ago. There's more than one way to win. Okay, Peyton Manning, you can throw 45 times. Open up the playbook. Alex Smith, Blake Bortles, I got to protect you a little bit. Blake Bortles, I want you throwing 24 times with a great running game. I think Lamar is one of those guys. I don't see him as a guy when I watch him throw, his accuracy. I don't see him as a guy that I can say, hey, it's 3rd and 9, we have no running game. They know you're throwing. But I do think you give him a big wide receiver, he can save you on some big throws downfield. You give him a running game so he can throw a little bit on play action. So the linebackers have to be honest. I think we have to be fair with Lamar. There is more than one way to win as a quarterback. Now, you played with Vince Ferragamo at one point, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, Vince is a guy you could throw 35 times.
He can throw it, right.
But you probably play with quarterbacks. You played with Jeff George. He had a big arm. I'd rather Jeff throw fewer times because I don't trust his judgment. Right?
Jeff had a big arm, but Jeff wasn't coached right. But that's a whole nother subject. I'll say this. I'll say this much here. As far as winning, you look at Doug Flutie. You like, if you didn't know anything about him, like him. But could Doug Flutie win football games? Most definitely, some of the biggest football games. Lamar Jackson. I think when you look at him, he looks like an athlete. When you see him, he looks like like an athlete. But he can be taught accuracy. It's certain things you can't be taught. I mean, and certain things you can be taught. He can work on his accuracy, like a basketball player. LeBron James working on his outside shot. You can work on certain things. If you don't have the knowledge or the know-it-all, how to process a defense and when you walk to the line of scrimmage and know what you're looking at, then there's a problem because he has the athleticism. It depends on, and I really believe that Ozzie is going to give him exactly what he needs in Baltimore to make him successful. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be Aaron Rodgers or nothing like that, or Tom Brady, but you never know.
You believe he can work on his weakness?
I really believe he can work on his weakness, and the thing is that he's a hard worker because that was one of the questions he said, Eric. He's a very dedicated young man. He comes in early, so and that says a lot. If you put work into your craft, it's going to show on the field.
All right, so Baker Mayfield, I said this. If you're a number 1 pick at quarterback, okay, you don't have to be as good as John Elway. I'm not saying that. But you either have to give me Cam's dynamic presence, Stafford's arm, Jared Goff, when you watched them last year, his efficiency. Mm-hmm. When I watch Baker, I'm like, he looks small, and I don't see a lot of wow there.
So is Drew Brees.
No. But when I watch Drew Brees, I see throws, and I think, wow.
Because you've seen it for a while. When he first came out, no, you didn't say wow.
Have you ever seen Drew Brees' rookie tape?
Yes.
San Diego?
He had some. He had some wow. You had some, uh-oh, what is he looking at?
So when you saw Baker last night, what are your impressions?
You know what? I like Baker from the beginning, and I liked him because I like his intangibles. I like his leadership qualities. I like the way the guys respond to him when he comes on the field. As a football player, you got to understand, this is all hype. It's all hype. When your guy comes on, come on, dog, come on. He gets his team excited. He's accurate. I think they need that leadership in Cleveland right now. Since 1999, the Browns have had 29 quarterbacks. I mean, you hoping this is the guy, but, the throws he threw last night, I mean, the one he threw to David Njoku, I think David it is right there, or was intercepted, or was knocked down. And the one through to Callaway, perfect. I mean, that's you can teach that, but you can't teach it. You can tell for him, it's just natural. It's what he does.
No. He's an accurate thrower of the football. I've never thought he's a bust.
What you want? You don't have an accurate thrower guy with a big arm.
No, but Drew Brees was a 2nd-round pick. Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick. We're comparing him to guys. Baker's a number 1 pick. Eric Dickerson's are number 1 picks. Okay, Anthony Munoz, that looks like a number 1 pick. Javon Kearse looks like a number 1 pick. You got to give me a lot of wow if you're number 1, because I'm paying you like a number 1.
Yeah, but you want to play like a number 1 pick. You might not always look like a number 1 pick. I'm sure I can't think guys off the top of my head with number 1 pick like, wow, he was a number 1 pick. But you want him to play like a number 1 pick. Last night, he played like a number 1 pick.
Oh, come on.
What do you what do you want? I mean, he gave you 2 touchdowns and 2 great passes.
He was 3 and out against the ones.
Is that his fault?
Yeah.
No. It's called a football team. Come on, it's a team.
So you're really on the Baker.
I like Baker. I think this pick was good for the Browns. Look, if you want the most talented guy in the draft, I think you went with Josh Rosen. To me, as a quarterback, that's who I like over Sam Darnold. That's who I'd have picked.
Well, yeah, Josh Rosen.
If you say the most talented quarterback, you go with him. I mean, if you want a guy that gives you stuff off the field, also as a leader and a winner, boom, that's your guy. I mean, I think he fits Cleveland better than Josh Rosen or Sam Darnold. He looks like a Cleveland guy. It's a guy that no one has ever given him anything.
By the way, Cleveland's got cold weather and they play outdoors. All the small guys they've drafted, Cody Kessler, Brandon Whedon. If you go back and look at their quarterbacks, the small guys have struggled. To me, if you look at northern weather, who works? Ben, Flacco, Aaron Rodgers' arm, Matt Stafford's arm.
Aaron Rodgers' arm, because Aaron's not that tall now.
But when you're playing outdoors in cold weather, he's got an accurate arm. He doesn't have a cannon.
You want the accuracy. That's what you're looking for.
But the bottom line, when you play outdoors in cold weather, that's why Teddy Bridgewater, I always said, bad pick for Minnesota. I like Teddy. Teddy's not a northern quarterback. Matt Ryan, by the way, works in a dome.
Dome, right.
Okay, Matt Ryan works in a dome, and then is in the games out of Atlanta or in a dome in New Orleans and in usually warm weather Carolina. When you go to this you go up north. You better have a guy that can throw the ball through wind and rain and sleet.
Now, what's going to happen when this guy comes? If he becomes real successful, you going to eat those words?
Well, then he can come after me and rip me. You rip me all the time anyway, Eric. I bring you on and you rip me all the time anyway.
I give you my opinion. It's not my opinion.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.